Well, good morning, or good afternoon, because I see we have some viewers over there in Europe, so it's afternoon, and it might be good evening, because you never know. We may have someone watching from the southern parts of the world over there in Australia and New Zealand if we've got some night owls. Anyway, good morning to everybody here in the US. It's 8 o'clock a.m. on February 1st. I can't believe January is gone, but I did succeed in the 31 days of sewing in January, so yeah, really excited about that. Anyway, I have a brand new guest this morning. Her name is Cheri, and she has her own channel called Cheri Yurtin, My Quilting World. I hope I pronounced that right. And
Did.
she has about 333 subscribers as of the beginning of today's, not podcast, what's this, a live. Anyway, let's move on. Let Cheri introduce herself. She can tell us a little bit about her, what she does on the channel and that sort of thing there, and then we'll get some sewing done and a lot of good chat. And thank you everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching live or coming back and watching the replay later on. Over to you, Cheri.
Okay. Hi, I appreciate you coming in and joining us this morning and getting to know me. I started, I had a channel way back, but it was more of a personal one. And in December of 2024, I decided I wanted to go and share my world, my quilting world that I do, things that I do in it. I'm a long arm quilter. I do that as a profession. I was a teacher for teaching quilting for, probably 12 years. And so I decided, why not share? People ask questions. They're curious. They want to know, how does the long arm work? What do you do? I like to do, on my channel, I'll be doing some projects. I want to do some lives. I'll do some sample blocks so you can learn how to do, if you're a beginning sewer, how you can do that. And one of my things I have planned is to work on borders. So I'll show you how to measure the borders for your quilt, how to put them on. And I'm also going to show the mitered border, how to measure and how to do a mitered border.
Well, that's fun. That's something I do want to do myself. I keep seeing that in quilt shows and on YouTube and that sort of thing there. And the mitered border, and I've been told it's fairly simple, and I'm pretty sure I could figure it out, but I just have not gotten around to it, because I'm definitely one of those folks that I'm a last minute person. If that thing is due tomorrow morning, I'm doing it 11 o'clock tonight. I'm terrible about that. But that's one of the things I love about Cheri's channel is her teaching. She does a really, really good job at teaching. She is very kind. She explains it very well and that sort of thing there. So yeah, definitely go over and check out Cheri's channel. It is exclamation point. Oh, hang on. I'm using the, let me use the right keyboard and the right monitor. It's the joy of having two computers. I just put the link in the chat anyway. Go over and check it out. And if you do like what you see, you guys all know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification so you see when there's a new video and all that sort of stuff out. I'm a hot mess again this morning. I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's say good morning to everybody that's here. And hopefully I don't miss anybody, because this chat is just absolutely flying, which is a good thing. I love to see that. Looks like Melanie Taylor, he was here first. Good morning to Joyce. Miss Brenda, it's good to see you as well. Joyce, the second Joyce, we have a lot of Joyces. There seems to be a lot of Nancy's, a lot of Joyces, and that sort of thing there. She's saying good morning to everybody. Good morning, Miss Patricia. Good morning to Miss Sandy. Good afternoon to Miss Christina. She is here all the way from Sweden. Let's see. Wow. Cheri is here with us. Good morning, Miss Laurie. Good morning from Miss Donna Dixon from Alabama. What part of Alabama? I went down there about 10 years ago and absolutely loved my time there. Kathleen says, wakey, wakey, happy Saturday morning. Correct, and coffees for eggs and bakery. Scary, yes, in a hurry. It's very, very early for Kathleen. She's a hoot. I love Miss Kathleen. She's a lot of fun. Good morning, Miss Donnell. It's good to see you as well. Polly is here. Good morning to Mr. Stephen from Plan Designed and Idiot Quilter. And if you have a channel, please feel free to put your link in. I'm always more than happy to support you guys in that way as well. Good morning, Miss Candace, Miss Cheri. The nice lady was here from Norway, and I think I missed saying her name. Oh, there it is, Cheri. Yes, here from Norway. So we have a lot of the Nordic countries setup. We just need to find someone from Finland. If you know anybody from Finland, get on the phone, tell them to get on and watch the live so we can have everybody represented, because we've got Denmark upstairs sleeping. So let's see. Dragonflies for Donna is here. Good morning to Miss Pat. Jeannie E is here with us as well. Lynn Byler, she says good afternoon. She's from the UK. So we've got quite a few European viewers, which is awesome. Chloe Morgan is here with us. Pasita is my friend from Canada, along with Stephen, of course. Let's see. Donnell, let's put her link in. Donna Dixon is Huntsville, Alabama. Okay, yeah. So I went to Birmingham and then Montgomery. I did not quite make it as far north as Huntsville. Good morning, Leanna. She says she's got out of the wilderness, looking to go down and cook for a little bit. Okay, it looks like Andrea's here with us. Good morning, Sheila. It's good to see you. She's my friend from the other side of the water. Sheila's like an hour away from me. So yeah, we're almost neighbors. So there we go. Anyway, let's see. What did you bring along to sew? Did you bring something along to sew? It's okay if you didn't, but most folks did.
I did. I'm doing one thing is I'm doing a block swap. And I went on a retreat this last weekend. So I took it and I got 16 of the 20 blocks done. And this is one of I'm just doing a scrappy little.
Those are always nice.
Let me see. I thought, hey, it's quick.
Oh, it is. Yeah. And it always turns out so nicely, especially when it's scrappy like that.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. The centers are all the same. And then I have some other blocks that if I want to work on, like a stained glass blocks I'm working on. And all of this is for my scraps, just to get them settled down.
Oh, for sure. And it's always good to do those scrappy projects because, the scraps add up so quickly. And it's just fun to be able to, put a slight dent in those. I'm doing some scrappy projects. And a lot of the projects that you see me do are scrappy as well. So the Fab Farm that I did recently with the horse, which I don't know where that is, it's scrappy. It's a lot of fun. I am going to work on this morning Clue 7 of the Wild West Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts. I am doing the Tombstone, if anyone's not aware, in the small. And this block goes together super quick. I think it took me, 30 minutes last night to do this. And I don't know about anybody else, but this is like one of the movie clappers that you have in the movies when they're filming.
Oh, yeah. It does. Okay. It does.
It does. Like I held it up last night when I was recording the video for the time lapse. And I was like, this looks like a movie clapper, but maybe that's just me. But that's what I think it looks like. So I'm gonna make a second one of those. I figure unless I have to call it my very, very bestest friend Jack, it'll probably only take me 30 minutes. So if we finish that, or when we finish that, we should be positive here, right? I did pull out some of the stitchets. This is one of my bonus blocks. We got to put this together as well. So we'll start that. This one is, I'm excited to put this one together. I kind of come up with an idea that it'd be fun to have like a chess or a checkers board. It won't be 8x8, it'll be 6x6. But it's got to look fun. It's going to be kind of scrappy-esque as well. So we'll
that's a good idea to do that with it. And then you can actually use it as a checkers.
Well, it's going to be part of the quilt. It'd be fun to have a scrappy. Why do I have an extra piece of fabric here? Oh, I know why. Never mind. Don't mind me. I told you I'm a hot mess.
Hey, we think we'll get it all together, and then it's not. Where are you?
Yeah. One step at a time. We'll get it all sorted out. Okay. Good evening to Catherine. She is all the way down there in Tasmania in Australia. So it is super late. It is after midnight down there. So good. I guess it's good morning to Miss Catherine down there. Okay, good morning, yo, Patty G. It's good to see you. Deb Esther Pugmung Quilter is here with us. I saw Michelle Quilter pop in. There was a bunch of people popping in, which is good.
Yeah, there is.
I don't want to miss anybody out. Mennonite Farmhouse is here as well. Good morning. I was just thinking about her the other day. I hadn't seen her in the live in a little while. I was like, I hope she's doing okay. And she told me her name once, and now I can't remember it. I'm terrible. I can't remember my own name sometimes. So we don't have to worry about that in Australia because we just call everybody mates. So you don't have to worry about names in there. So
yeah, you do. They go by they put in their channel name, and then unless you hear them say their name, you don't know who they are.
Leanne's coming to mind. Is it Leanne? Let's see if I'm smart. I'm terrible of names. I'm just at this point in my life where I just, if I meet someone I haven't seen in a while, I'll just say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I'm bad at names. Can you remind me and where I know you're from? Because I don't remember.
That's good.
Because I don't know. Anyway, and I found that people are receptive of that. Like if you just tell them, hey, look, I'm not good with names, they usually come back and go, yeah, me too. So don't be afraid to use that trick.
That's
All right,
good.
good afternoon, Ms. Zaza. Oh, for sure. Yes.
Hi, Zaza.
It is Leanne. Okay, I got it right. Good for me. That doesn't happen very often. All right, so what have we got going on here today? Okay, apparently, let's see. Andrea said they finished up the January series, great recipes for those that can. That must be like a canning thing you do in January. My friend Tasha and I, we did a sew every day in January. It was 15 minutes at least of sewing or doing something in your sewing room. And I finished that. And I actually was telling her the other day, I'm actually on day like 34 because I started like 2 or 3 days before the month started. And someone actually asked me, would I continue like do it through February as well? And I'm like, you know what, maybe. I don't know. I might shoot for 50 and then see if we get through January. It's definitely a good motivator because you get a lot done if you do just a little bit each day. So there we go as well.
Yeah, I started doing sewing the 15 minutes a day, and I got through it. I did it, and it is very productive.
Yeah.
Either sewing, cutting, or preparing, but it's getting you in your room and getting you started, getting your ideas going. And
for sure. Yeah, I mean, it just gives you, it kind of gives you because it's so easy to say, nah, I'm gonna go watch a show tonight or something else like that. So
get lost in the internet.
exactly, it's so easy to do.
I know.
So it was nice being able to do that, and I was very, very productive.
I have to ask a question to them, the ones in the chat. How many of you have two devices going at the same time, and you might be watching YouTube on one and another channel on another one? I do that. I thought.
Yeah, I would say that too. A lot of times I'm watching TV, and we have my wife and the girls, and then I'll be also watching something on. But I think I have undiagnosed ADD, so it's good for me to have something going on. That's probably why I'm so scatterbrained and such a hot mess here sometimes. So, all right. Dragonflies with Donna is asking about a link for Andrea. I think we have a link for her. I'm looking. No? All right, let me.
She changed. No, I don't think she. Wait, Andrea. Is not.
It's fine. I'm fixing it.
Okay.
All right, so I just put the link in for Andrea, which is Mama J Enterprises. And I'll create her a command real quick because I thought we had one for her, but apparently we don't. But we'll soon fix that unless we have it under Mama.
Mama J.
Oh, okay, it's under Mama J. Okay, let's change that to Andrea. Might be easier that way. Okay, so I just had it in the wrong spot. All right, so yeah, if you want to go check out Mama J's Canterbury thing, you can. I've just put it in there. It's now under ! Andrea. If you're watching in the live chat, if you're watching the replay, these don't work, unfortunately, for you. And then the Mennonite Farmhouse, Miss Leanne, is also really good about, she has some really fun stuff as well. So, and I think we have her under Leanne.
I have to check out her channel. I noticed that today in the chat, so I want to check out that channel. Sometimes I think I go check them out and then I'm already subscribed.
Oh, me too. Yeah, hers is ! Farm. So we'll go ahead and throw it in as well. Okay, so there we go. Teresa says she likes to play games and watch YouTube. Yeah, me too. That's cool. Sheila says she's been known to watch sports on multiple devices. Yeah, so there we go.
See, we're
Donna says
multitasking.
she's watched a movie with the guys, played a computer game, and listened to a live stream all at the same time. Good gravy, that's too much for me.
Watched a movie with the guys, played a computer. Yeah, Donnell, you can do a
She's putting
lot.
us all to shame.
My brain would be gone.
Plus, they say gentlemen aren't supposed to be able to do one thing at once. So, me being able to do two, I think I'm better
you're
than
doing
average.
good, Sean.
I'm doing better than average.
You're
Speaking of being,
multitasker.
well, also you see these things too. I remember seeing one a few months ago, probably. They said that the average American household has 0.8 sewing machines. So based on that, I think each and every one of us are above average. So
I am. How many machines do you have, Sean?
well, right now it's only this one because the other one's at the store. I have to go pick up it and bring it home. So one working, one dead.
I got to see if anybody's going to beat me. And this is, you can put it in the chat. They can respond. I have 24 machines. I collect. I have collected machines.
I think you're going to win that contest.
I said, that's why I said, let's see if somebody can. Like I started collecting the older ones, the singers, the featherweights, and then I got the 301s, and then I got into now I'll collect by what color hits me. This is a pretty color. This is a mint green. I'll get this one. And they all work. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think the oldest one is a chain stitcher by Wilcox company, and it would chain stitch so that when you wanted to remove the stitching, you just pulled the string and it would remove the stitching. It's over 100 years old.
That is neat. My grandmother had this old sewing machine. It was like one of those treadle machines, and I was like, I would have loved to have gone. Obviously, when she was around, she passed away. Probably I had to go look at a headstone online now to remember, but it's been like 10 years. I was like, I wish I'd sewn back then because I don't know how plus it would have cost me a fortune to get it shipped across the ocean. But it'd be really fun to have that sitting here with me. But
do you remember her? Do you remember her using it? No.
No, I think it sat there and collect. I think it was there for decoration, to be honest. And I think it never worked. Yeah, I don't know. It would have been fun. So, but
Candace says that she has 8 counting her long arm. Well, I need to add 2 more onto that line. So 23, 25, because I got 2 long arms. I have my.
If you get 2 more, you could open a sewing machine museum. Charge admission.
And when I'm gone, I don't know who's going to want these, but I make sure I tell them now. You got to look at the price of these. You got to know what the cost is, But I enjoy it, so I guess that's what counts. And I do pull them out and use them at times. At the 301 that I have, that's a singer. I set it up at the campground. We have an RV that we just keep permanently at a campground, and I can go out there, and that's my zen out space, and I'll sew there. So, oh well. Hernandez has 12.
Yeah, we asked this question once in a while, and most of us have 2, 3, 4, and then there's like a handful of us that have like 8 to 10. So when you asked the question, I was like, okay, well if you're under about 12, I think you got to have some competition. But once you said 23, I was like, yeah, I think you're gonna have I think you got to get the gold medal on this one. Well, I could be wrong. You might have someone pop in any moment and tell us they have 37. But,
I know. Well,
and if you have 37,
Donna might have me beat. She's been collecting. Donna Struts, from
handmade by Yin.
So she's been collecting them now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, I'll have to ask her. She
She
normally
was,
pops in for the chat a little bit.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, see,
but
that's
yeah,
what, when we get all our machines that we like to sew on, then that's what we do. We start collecting. You get the first one. That's what happens.
yeah.
So she has her, Candace has her great grandmothers, and her great great grandmothers, and her
Oh, that's nice.
grandmothers, my mom's. Oh my, they're all from the family. That's wonderful. I have my mom's, and that's the only one I have that was in the family.
Yeah, my sister has my mom's sewing machine, and she uses it for quilting.
Okay.
Um, and I think people have probably heard this story before, but you can listen to it again. My mom passed. I'm here in the US. My sister and everybody else is in Australia, and yeah, so my mom passed away back in 2007, and my sister and I started sewing about 8 years later, and we talked about the sewing machine, my sister and I, and I'm like, you take it. Like it would not work over here anyway, I don't think, because I have to buy all new plugs. It's a different voltage and that sort of thing there, and it costs a fortune. So, I think there's a little bit of guilt on her side because she has it and I don't. But I'm like, look, I just want it to see, I want it to stay in the family. I want to see it being loved and used. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm more than happy to let you have it. Like I'm not at all upset. I'm not at all disappointed. Please just love it and use it. Like,
Yeah, it'd
but
probably
she
be a
bought
lot
it.
to ship it.
I think she bought a new one. I think the machine she has was fairly new. I don't think she had it very long before she passed away. So
Wow.
it should last Shelley, quite a long time. She had it serviced um fairly recently. So
Yeah, you keep them serviced, and they're pretty good, unless, well, the computerized ones, sometimes beyond our control, the boards can go out on them, but
yeah.
the mechanical ones, you keep them oiled and greased and clean, and they'll last you
But
forever.
yeah, I mean the little brother I had, it never went in for servicing. I had that 11 years. It was an $80 machine. To service that thing, it would have cost more than it was worth to replace it.
Yeah.
But I cleaned it out every so often, and it did quite well. The Bonina here that I'm using right now, it counts the stitches, and every so many 100,000 stitches, whatever it is, it will tell you to clean it, and then every so often it will tell you to take it in for servicing. So I just follow that. Like figure those folks know what they're doing. They want you to bring it in so it can stay good and they can make a little money on the servicing and that sort of thing there. So yeah, I just kind of follow that. I'm lazy.
Yeah. Well, I need to have my brother taken in. I haven't, because the needle threader, automatic needle threader, don't want to thread no more. And when I use the scissor cutter on it, it wants to cut it too short, and then I lose that, my thread, and I have to rethread. So that's minor things. So, so
Oh yeah, because you can go buy a little like handheld needle threader, I think, for not a huge amount of money. So
yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it runs great. It's not that old. So
that brother machine I had, it was fantastic. I mean that thing ran like a champ until its very last day. But yeah, like you said, it was the board. They said they couldn't fix it, unfortunately, which I kind of expected. So
yeah,
we are on the hunt for a new machine. I'm looking at too many different options, but I'm in no rush. So I was telling Cheri early this morning. I said I think what I'm going to do is go to the Mid Atlantic Quilt Show later this month and test drive all the pretties up there, because they'll have like all the major brands up there, so I can go see what, because you can look online and see what is available, but I think you need to go touch them and
I think you
test
do
drive them
too.
and see what um, speaks to you. So
Yeah, that's what I did with when I was looking for my long arm. We went to the shows, and that's when a lot of them were out there. Everyone had a representative, and you could eliminate some right away. And then there was some that it's like, oh, I like this one and I like that one. What do I do? And then you have to just go what you feel the most comfortable with when you're.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards doing, because like this machine works beautifully, like, but I want I've always used this as a quilting only machine, and I've used the other one for piecing, and I want to kind of revert this to that again when I can, because this machine's 20 years old or close enough to
Okay.
it. I don't want to wear, like, yeah, the Bonitas last forever, but I don't want to kill it.
Have you done any free motion quilting on your machine?
A little bit. And it does very, very well on that. And I have the big Slow Steady table for this machine.
Oh, yeah.
I bought the biggest one they had, and that thing is worth every penny that
It
you pay
is.
for it.
Especially if you're going to do some free motion or even in the ditch quilting.
It's great for binding. It's great for in the stitch. It's really, really good for all of that stuff. So yeah, we'll come up with something. Yeah, we'll come up with something, and there we go. So yeah, a lot of people are saying that they service their own machines, and I'm kind of thinking that's what I'm leaning towards. There's a really good course that I saw online recently. We talked about this last week on the thing, and I met the lady and the husband that run that company last week. Not last week, last year at QuiltCon. Very, very nice people. They're good friends of my mate Russ over at Quilt Meets World. So I may end up, purchasing that. I keep forgetting the name of the thing, but everyone knows what I'm talking about, I think. So
yeah, my husband will do the mechanical ones, and he did change the bobbin winder on the little Janome gem, but now it only wants the straight stitch. And I think what it is that he needs to go in and adjust that bobbin mechanism again, because it's over too far. It doesn't want to zigzag or anything, but it was my travel machine.
Yeah.
You learn. I that's why I said it doesn't, if you have a machine that it doesn't matter no more, you can play with them and learn how they work and fix them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, let's see. Ingrid says, absolutely test drive more. You might surprise yourself on what you end up liking best. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, and I'm always one of those folks that takes their time and researches everything. Because I don't want to plunk around all this money and not know what I'm doing. So,
ease of use.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's all in one place. Because like I was looking the other day, and like some of the bath machines are interesting because they have this what they call an IDT thing on the back. It's kind of like a feed dog on the top that's automatic. And I was like, that's really cool. And I was like, okay, where's my nearest bath dealer? And it's like down in New Bern, North Carolina. It's like 3 hours away. And I'm like, I'm not driving 3 hours to go test drive the machine. They're coming to the show in 4 weeks. I'll just wait till they get here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good place. Going to the shows is a good place to find new product, test out machines, ask questions.
Yeah.
To the representatives.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, no, we will figure it out.
Ooh, Mama J has Andrea has. Let me see. I have Donnell's old Singer that I'm getting back to be like new. It is missing the bobbin winder and spool pins. Otherwise, it can run awesome. Yeah, you can go on. I think there's a sewing parts online or eBay and find parts to a lot of that stuff. You giving it back to Donnell, or did Donnell give it to you, Andrea?
Yes, I was going to ask the same question. I was just curious.
Yeah. Donnell says, well, I got to get my count back up.
Yeah. I don't have the space for them anymore. I mean, I think I can fit 2 or maybe 3 on this table here. And that's about it.
I don't have any space for any more either.
Well, with 23, I'm not surprised.
And I have a pretty big house. But I don't. Yeah. I just don't take them. They're upstairs. All of them are upstairs. I don't have any of them downstairs in our kitchen area and living room, bedrooms, anything like that. We have them upstairs in like the the bonus, the sewing room, and then long arm room.
Right.
So.
Sorry, I am listening. I'm just trying to
Oh, that's
concentrate
okay.
on this.
Yeah,
So I don't mess it up.
I'm a collector of sewing machines, and I love the quilting aspect of everything. I started out as learning how to garment sew.
Okay.
Like we had home ec in school, and you learned how to do little cooking, little sewing. Well, my mom
Yep.
and my sisters were sewers, so I learned how to do that, and I did a lot of that. But I remember when I'll tell you my age, I'm 68. So when I was like 17, 18 years old, I said, to myself, I want to make a quilt someday. I just, I don't know why. It wasn't something that, everybody was doing, but I liked the quilts. So when I was around 29 years old, I think it was, I made my first quilt. I had an independent teacher that taught me how to do it and taught me how to hand quilt it. And I still have it to this day. But then I got into just sewing, little things for the house and all that. But then I really got into the quilting over 20 years ago. I making quilts and learning and that, and then I got into the teaching and the long arm but yeah, you get the bug, it hits you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I didn't expect it to morph into all this either. I mean, I took home ec back in the 90s when I was in 7th and 8th grade, and yeah, I probably would have been one of those students that the teacher would have said least likely to succeed.
Oh,
I hated it. I hated every moment of it. I couldn't, yeah, I couldn't get out of the class quick enough.
It could have been the structure of how it was taught.
I think so. I mean, I probably wasn't paying attention the first time. Let's be honest with ourselves. I was a 13, 14-year-old boy, but I
Right.
wasn't really. I don't remember being taught how to thread a bobbin or anything else like that. So if I got into the sewing machine room, like the home ec class, I guess you could call it, and the machine had no bobbin, like thread left, I just sit there. I mean, no one came to help me. Thankfully, one of the girls in the class figured it out after a while, and she'd come over and help me. I never learned how to thread the bobbin. She'd just do it for me, I guess. But I could do something. I made a pair of shorts, or something, which I promptly burnt, but because they looked horrible, I wasn't going to wear them.
They weren't comfortable, huh?
No.
You'd think they would have shown you, like when I was in school, they went over the machine and showed you how to do the cleaning and the bobbin and
I
stuff
don't
like
remember
that.
any of that. That it was shown once and I didn't understand, and that was it. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
my home ec teacher was a wonderful teacher, but she probably got sick of dealing with because everybody had to go through this course in 7th and 8th grade. She was probably sick of all the teenage boys that didn't care. So I don't know. Maybe I just got.
Yeah. Well,
I don't blame her for that. I mean, I think if she saw us today, she'd be like, "What the heck? What's going on here?"
what are you doing?
Yeah. So
I
I don't know. Be interesting if she ever did see this and go, "Hey, wasn't that the guy who was like such a bad kid in my class?"
yeah.
Oh,
The guys took shop, and when I was in school, and the girls took home ec, and the guys would come in and eat our cooking.
we had to take everything, and because our high schools were grade 7 through 12,
Yeah.
and so seventh and 8th grade, you took everything. Like you took all the foreign languages for a semester, you took all the shop classes for a semester each. You did home ec for that, music, art, everything, because that way, when it came to choosing your electives in 9th and 10th grade, you had already experienced the class. So you weren't getting into that class and saying, "Hey, I hate this." Or if you did, it was your own fault because you knew what you're getting yourself into. So I thought that was a good way of doing it. It was kind of like a test drive to everything.
Mona says, "Good morning."
Oh, Wow. Okay. My friend Nicole is here all the way from Queensland. Good evening to you. It's good to see you. All my friends I haven't seen in a while popping in today. This is really, really neat.
I
Good
know.
evening, good evening, good evening. Yeah, I saw Andy popped in from True Blue Quilt. She was here with me a few weeks ago. She said her mom pushed her to decide to select this rather than home ec. I didn't touch a sewing machine until I was in my 30s. Yeah, I was in my mid 30s when I started this. Let's see. 35, almost 36. Anyway, somewhere around that number. It seems like once you get into your late 30s, you forget how old you are. Like someone asked me the other week how old I was, and I had to sit there and think about it for a minute. I'm like, what was the number?
Well, I can't remember now for sure how many years I've been married. I have to
Oh, that I
go.
remember.
I have to go get a calculator now. I think it's 46 or 47.
Oh,
I
wow.
think
Really neat.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah. No, that's really neat. Yeah, I remember how many years I've been married. It'll be 23
well, that's good.
next month. So not quite as many as you. I'm about halfway at your total.
Yeah, I remember getting married and saying, "Do you think we'll make it?" Not that we wouldn't make it, but
Yeah.
what I said to our 50th, meaning will we still be alive,
Right.
because we were young then. It was like, you're so old now, when you were thinking that, that you would be so old that will you make it? I think I'm
Oh,
making it.
yeah, because people get taken away from us so quickly. Like
Oh,
you
I
can get
know.
diagnosed with cancer and be like my mom had pancreatic cancer. Like from the time she was diagnosed, which we all think she knew beforehand that was something going on. She was a nurse, but from
Oh,
the time
yeah.
she was diagnosed to the time she passed away, it was about 12 days. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, um,
Yeah, she probably
so
knew because she had to be in pain. I think it's
yeah.
a lot of pain.
Well, we won't know until we get to heaven and have a chat to her, of course.
Yep.
But yeah, there was signs. Like we went down the year before, and she did a lot of sitting. Like if we went to somewhere, she'd sit down a lot, and that sort of thing there. So yeah, I think something was going on, and she didn't tell us, and I think everybody believes that. But she was a trooper,
Yep.
and
All of
that
them
sort of thing.
a lot of times mothers are very protective of their children. They don't
Oh,
want
they are
to,
very much so. So.
also as fathers. Yeah,
Mhm.
not just the moms.
Oh yeah, if you mess with my kids, you're gonna be in trouble.
How's your exchange students? They're going to be here till when? Until May or?
Oh, Ginger's here. Good morning to her. She says good morning to Sean and Cheri. Cheri, I'll get it right in a minute. I was telling her I'm Cheri this morning.
It doesn't bother me. It's a French name. You could call yeah.
Well, I went to school with a lady, well, she was a girl back then. Same spelling as yours, and it was Cherise, and that's the only. I don't really see the name very often.
Yeah.
So
The spelling is rare.
it's gotta slip. I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. That's not a problem. It still says it's still Cheri, even when you say Cheri.
Yes. Well, I get called all sorts of weird and wonderful things at work, because I work in international shipping, and it seems like there's a lot of, especially in Canada, which is what I'm assigned to. It seems like there's a lot of immigrants that work in the shipping industry, so they may not have come across my spelling before. So I get called Sian. Sin is a good one. A lot of people call looking for Sin. And we just all know now if they're looking for Sin, just send it over to.
Today.
Yeah, we know who it is. I went to get. It was funny because, I get called Sin all the time at work, and then I went to get my dinner at the Chinese restaurant one night, and it was really, really busy, and they yell at Sin. I'm like, "Yep, that's me." It's like, I know who that is.
Because you get called that enough.
Yeah, I was like, thank goodness they called me that at work, because otherwise I would have who was that? Like, okay, let's see. I'm doing this without the instructions. And I'm almost done. I am referring to the one I made last night, so I am kind of cheating.
Well, yeah, that's nice sometimes you want to do that.
Well, I didn't want to have another screen up, because I was just too lazy to print the pattern. I mean, it was such an easy block for me to make. I was like, I don't see the sense in printing it out. So there we go. All right, let's see. Ginger is eating a breakfast while watching too. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fun. Like, it is Brekkie with the guy who sews. So I encourage you to have your breakfast. If you're eating while you're sewing, that might be dangerous. You might have to clean your machine a little more often. But you do what works for you. Yeah, why don't we ask that question? When it is breakfast time, what is your go-to breakfast?
Oh, gee, what do I eat? Sometimes I'll have a protein shake, or I eat really light or late, and then I eat more mid-morning.
Yeah.
And then I'll have something. So
yeah, I usually don't have a big breakfast either. Like sometimes I might grab a donut or something, like if I'm on the way to work. If my work mom brings me something to eat for breakfast, I'll obviously eat that. But yeah, a lot of times I don't worry about it. I usually just wait till lunch.
I like to make breakfast wraps ahead of time and put them in the freezer.
Yes.
And then that's nice because then you can take those out and microwave for 2 minutes and you're eating.
Yep. Yeah, no, my wife really likes the protein shakes. I've been making those for her for a little while now, and she really enjoys those.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stephen says during the week an English muffin with peanut butter or cheese. Joyce says salmon croquettes and cheese grits. I am not a fan of grits. I never got into that, but I know a lot of folks in the South love that. Where are you located again, Cheri?
I'm in Clayton, North Carolina. It's southeast by about 20 minutes from Raleigh.
I was going to say, I thought it was near Raleigh. Okay, so we're not that far apart.
No, we're not. It would take me like 3 hours to get up to that quilt fest. But I have a sister-in-law that lives up near Alexandria in that.
Okay.
And nieces and nephews. Yep.
Well, I'll be down your way, not about a year from now.
For the QuiltCon.
Yeah, I'll be coming down for the day, so
Good. I'll see
that'll be fun. Yep, I will be there. I can't not go. It's close enough. It's a nice day trip for me. So
yeah, there's a lot of people that is planning on going to that.
Yeah. Well, it's in a good location. I mean, you're only 3 or 4 hours from DC. Atlanta's like 5 or 6. I mean, yeah, they picked a good spot for it. Apparently, it did very, very well last year when they had it there, from what I've heard. So
it was packed. It was good. It went. Yeah.
Which day did you go?
The first day.
I heard Thursday and Friday were nuts. I thought about taking the day off, like work, and going down Thursday and Friday, and then I ended up saying, "No, forget it. I'll go down on Saturday and just deal with the crowds." But yeah, I heard Thursday was insane. Friday was not much better. Saturday wasn't too bad. Like, there was a lot of people there, but there was enough room for everybody on Saturday. So I really do think about, when I go next year, I'll do the same thing. I'll just go down Saturday morning. I'm sorry there'll be no live that day for you all, but it'll work out nicely.
You could turn it on, let them see what's happening a little bit there at QuiltCon if you wanted to. Not.
I could, but I feel weird about doing that. I did a quick recording once at the state fair, like showing what we did, and I don't know. I just feel weird. But I'm
you're wondering if everybody else is okay with it around you.
That sort of thing there. Yeah. And some shows, and I think QuiltCon may be among them, like they're not real keen on like people doing that because I guess people get in the way or distract others, and
you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful if you're photographing. You should ask if you can photograph their quilts or at their booth. I mean, because people have reasons why they may not want you to.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, Plus, you don't know how
Yeah.
good the internet connection is, because like when you go into the convention center in Raleigh, and you'd remember this, you actually go down a set of escalators. It's kind of like
Mhm.
it's subterranean. So I didn't know how good the internet connection would be, and
Sometimes
truthfully,
it's not good. Sometimes it
yeah,
cuts out.
and truthfully, like I'm only down there for a day. You know, I'm there from like 10 o'clock to about 4, because then I want to be back on 95 before it gets dark, because those interstates out of Raleigh, was it 88, 164 or whatever it is, whatever route that is to get back over to 95. Those
They're-
lane markings are horrible. So I want to be out of there before it gets dark. I want to be able to just enjoy the experience, like being able to meet and greet with everybody. It was fun meeting up with everybody last year. I loved that. It was such a good time being able to do that. So yeah, I don't know that having a live and that added, added thing to deal with.
you're making it. Yeah, you're turning it into. You're not having that time for yourself. You're turning it into. I don't want to say your business or anything, but it's like, okay, now I'm on. Where you'll miss stuff. You'll miss.
Yeah, and it's one of those shows too. Like it's hard to do in a day. Like you can do it in a day, but yeah, I felt very rushed. But I didn't want to spend the money on a hotel and all that sort of mess either. Like I'd do the one thing again at one day thing again. So Andy says that QuiltCon offers a press pass and you can enter the show early to record. Nice benefit. Okay, I may have to look into that. I don't know if they're going to give me a press pass. I might say, okay, look, you're way too little. But I'll have to look into that. I did not know that. So
no, they would probably do it because the advertisement of it would be wonderful for them.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could. I mean, I can definitely look into it and see what they say. I mean, and we've run out of bobbins thread.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But
yeah.
Hey,
the worst they can do is say no, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. Andy says just give us a good recap. Yes, that's what I did last year, and that's kind of what I plan on doing again next year. But if I could get a press pass and go in early and do some recording before everybody else is in there, it'd be fantastic. I love that idea. I'm so glad you said that, Andy.
That was
they may not grant it to me. They may be looking for like radio and television and bigger folks than me. But
no, I bet you they would. I think they would let you in, and then that way you got that done, and then you can enjoy your time.
Exactly. I'm definitely going to look into that. We'll see what happens there as well. So, all right. I have finished this block. Again, it does look like a movie clapper to me. That's like, if you look at the time lapse I posted yesterday, the thumbnail I made was a little guy with a clapper. It's kind of like a little Easter egg there for you. So,
cute.
There we go. All right. So let's see. Dragonfly Sudonna says I wouldn't want to be on a live stream. Hubby would see me buying too many goodies. Yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah, I'd probably get beat up by some people.
I want that.
There we go. All right. So Laurie says she met me at QuiltCon last year. I do remember that. Yeah, Laurie was a lovely. I got to meet quite a few viewers there last year. I think Teresa was here. I think I met Teresa last year down there, who was in the chat earlier. So yeah, it was really neat. And that was one of the things I loved being able to do, is meet up with some of the other content creators that I hadn't met before. Like Donna was one of them I hadn't met in person before. Actually, quite a few. Beth.
See, I was
there was a bunch. Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, and then I got to meet quite a few of the viewers. It was actually had one or two people bump into me. Hey, are you Sean from The Guy Who Sews? I'm like, yep, that's me. So that was really interesting. I hadn't really come across that before. And then I went to the Mid-Atlantic show the next week, and nobody knew me up there, and it was very, very different. But I was fine with that. Like, I was only up there for a couple of hours. Like, I was planning to go up there for the entire day, and then some stuff happened around here that I needed to take care of. So I was only up there for an hour or two, and so it was kind of nice not being recognized. I could just enjoy myself. So there we go. All right. So what are we doing here? Okay. Ginger says she's going to Jackson, Mississippi for a G's Ben quilting retreat. Nishi, my daughter's going with me. That is awesome. She just made the first quilt this Christmas for her niece, a new quilter. Oh, that is awesome, Ginger. That is so neat to hear. It's always fun to see new people jumping into the hobby. I think that is absolutely fantastic as well. So, Andy says she'll be doing rapid fire interviews for my podcast at QuiltCon here in Phoenix. Have to find a quiet corner of the convention center. The nice thing is most of those convention centers do have a quiet space somewhere. QuiltCon in Raleigh had a space last year. The one in Hampton has ample space for you to do that sort of stuff there. I find the best places to do that sort of thing is up near the classrooms. They're usually like in a different hall or something else like that. There's usually a nice little corner near a classroom.
And it's real quiet. It's real quiet up there.
It is like, even though like the main floor is
crazy,
busy, you can still find that spot. And if you're someone like me that doesn't like crowds, don't ever let that put you off going to one of these shows. Yes, there are spots that are crowded. I will not lie about that, and I won't deny that. But there's always a quiet spot here and there, and quite a few spots really for the most part, where you can just have space to yourself. So don't ever let that, put you off there as well. Okay, let's see. Looks like Joyce is on her way out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. That is awesome. It's good that we could see you for a little while. We still have Bob and Thread? Yes, we do. Okay, how about that? I thought we ran out, but we didn't. Good afternoon, Giovanna. It's good to see you. She's one of my friends from Italy. She does not live that far away, apparently, from my one of my last exchange students, Lorenzo. So it's good to see you. Let's see. Yes, and that's true too. Andy says go later in the days. Crowds tend to be smaller. That is definitely so true. We went to the Mid-Atlantic show 2 years ago, I think it was. I got there at like 1 o'clock on a Friday, and every person and their brother and sister was there. And I was talking to some friends of mine up there for a little while, and I looked around like an hour and a half later at 3 o'clock, and the place was deserted. Like, so yeah, if you go later in the day, I think people get there at 10 o'clock when they open, they get exhausted, they walk around, they do everything, and by 3 o'clock they're done, they all go home. So yeah, if you don't like crowds, definitely later in the day is a good suggestion.
Yeah. You can kind of step back from the booths too if you need to, if they get too crowded. Yes, because at QuiltCon in Raleigh, it was the booths could be crowded because I went the first day and right in the morning and all that. But you could go and I could step back from the people, and there was room within the walkways.
Oh, there was. The walkways between the booths down there last year were fantastic. Like, they were nice, and that was one of the things I really, really enjoyed about that.
Yeah, is
that they really did pay attention to that and made those booth aisles very nice and wide, so you could actually get around. That's something that doesn't necessarily happen so much at Mid-Atlantic. Like, they dedicate more space to the quilts, which I love, but not so much for the thing. Yeah, that was one of the big takeaways for me for QuiltCon last year, was that how well they did the vendor spaces down there. They did a really, really good job at that. So
yeah, they did.
Yeah, because I did a video last year that compared the two shows, because they were back-to-back weekends, and I went to both. And so like I did I kind of found 20 different categories, and they went head-to-head in all 20 categories. And that was one of the big takeaways for me, was the space they had for the vendors.
Yeah, that makes a big, if you get to where the booths are crowded and the walkways crowded and you can't get through, then that's when you start getting a little anxiety. But I think they've changed all those a lot. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Richmond handles Road to Virginia this year.
When's that?
Mid to late June. I can't remember the exact weekend.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that's not that far for you. It's like, what, 2.5, 3 hours, I think, up the road.
Yeah.
All you have to do is, hop up to 95.
Lori says they need to have better food choices at QuiltCon. That's all the festivals, or all the shows is that if you eat inside, you're not necessarily always going to have a good choice, but there's restaurants or something around.
Yeah, there's a really it's like a 10-minute walk. There's a really good food hall about half a mile from the convention center in Raleigh. I forget the name of it.
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember it now. It's really good. We've been there before, and I parked in the garage next, like, down the street from it because I knew where it was, and I figured if I parked 10-minute walk away, I wouldn't have to fight with anybody to get a parking spot, which was so true.
Right.
And plus, it was a nice day. It was like 55, 60 degrees, or 10 to 15 degrees
It was
Celsius. And
nice.
it was such a nice day to go for a walk. So, like, me walking the half mile to get there and back didn't bother me one bit. So, and I figured if I got if I needed some food before I drove back, I could just duck up the street to the food hall and that sort of thing there. But I just gave myself, I got a big breakfast on the way in, and that kind of kept me, tided me over until it was time to head home. And then I just stopped on the way home and got dinner. So that's another thing. Like, if you get yourself a big breakfast, like go to your favorite breakfast joint, or go to a breakfast joint nearby, get yourself a nice big breakfast, and you might not have to worry too much about getting a snack but that works for me, and that doesn't work for everybody. So there we go. All right, Leanne says the Mid-Atlantic is 4.5 hours from her. Yeah, it's a nice show. If you ever get a chance to come down and say, it's a long day trip, 4.5, it's doable.
But you can spend one night before.
And that's true. You could always do that too. All right, so
Jess is here.
Yeah, good morning, Miss Jess. It's good to see you. It's always good to see my friend Jess here as well. Giovanna asked, how long have I been living in the US? A long time. 23 years, I think it is now. I came at the end of 2001. Yeah. So yeah, long time. I have to think. That's one of the questions I have to think about, because it's been a long time.
Yeah, you've been here, but your family grew up with us in Australia.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yep, I'm the only one here. So, all right, what did I do here? It doesn't really matter, but I want to keep it in the same. Sorry, I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah, Laura says there's a lot of nice places to eat near Phoenix Convention Center too. I'd have to say, if you've not gone to any of these shows, pack your bag light for stuff that you need, because your shoulders will get sore and all that. If you have a purse or a real big bag, bring a water bottle or something with you, because you'll get very thirsty. And they do have water there, but they do now have where you can, as you buy your products or from the vendors, you can check them in for a very small fee, and you don't have to carry all your stuff all over the place. And that has made it nice.
And some of the vendors too, like the smaller ones, I'm sure would probably offer to let you keep it there and pick it up later too, if you ask nicely.
Yeah, if it's especially, yes, I've done that. If it's a bigger, even if it's a bigger purchase, that you didn't. I got like the extension table for one of my featherweights. They had one there. And I says, can I pick this up when I leave? And they said, yeah. So
yeah, they don't want you carrying that big extension of tape around with you all day. So they can't do that with you.
No. Now, it would be nice. I can't remember. Was Kai Scissors there last year?
Sorry?
Was Kai Scissors, KIA Scissors Company, were they there last year? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I mean, as I said, like, the vendor area is kind of a blur to me, because I didn't spend a whole lot of time in there, because I wasn't really looking at buying, because I was thinking that there was a good chance a lot of them would come up the road to Hampton the next week to Mid-Atlantic.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of what I was banking on. Yeah. And it was funny, because the only thing I bought I was good. I was very, very good when I went to QuiltCon. The only thing I bought at QuiltCon was a skein of yarn.
That's
That was
good.
the only thing I bought. And then I went the next week to Mid-Atlantic, and did I buy anything else? I bought another skein of yarn for my wife from the same lady. She's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
that's interesting.
don't I know you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw you last week in Raleigh."
You travel the same circuits.
Yeah. I told her, I said, I liked your yarn a lot. You know, like what I bought, I absolutely loved. And so I bought some purple, I think it was a purple yarn for her. And then I bought one for me. I was like, I want one for me. So haven't got my socks yet. I'm still waiting for them to get knit. But
I
yeah, I
guess
told her, I said, I need another pair of socks for me. So here I am.
I guess there was used to be a show in Hershey, PA, but
Hmm.
that was supposed to be really good, but the lady passed away that organized it, so they're not doing it. And Lori says she bought a large cutting mat from QuiltCon. Was it Martelli?
Yeah, Martelli does some really good
Yeah,
products. Like the tables, the cutting mats. A lot of people swear by those.
yeah.
The only Martelli product I have is like one of those.
Rotary cutters.
Yeah, and mine is special because mine is blue.
Ah, because they've done in red.
Yeah, and you know why that's different?
Is it left-handed?
Because this is left-handed.
I see. I figured that, and I didn't know if that you were
Yeah,
left-handed.
the right-handed ones are red, the left-handed ones are blue, apparently, unless they've changed it. You know, if they changed it in the last couple of yeah, a little bit, then that's fine there as well. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us for a little while. No, it's good to see you as well. Yeah, she says she has a lot of chores to do today. Sunday's usually my chore day. I usually get to go do fun stuff on Saturday, and then it's get ready for the week Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, it's after 9 o'clock already. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to meet Miss Laurie. Yes, Giovanna says I still have my Australian accent. Yes,
Oh, yeah, you'll never lose that because of the
I'm thankful for that. I don't want to lose it.
no,
I like having the accent. Yeah, I like
yeah,
my heritage and where I'm from. I actually
right.
spoke to a guy once, like at work. He called asking about a shipment, and he sounded American to me. And he's like, "Yeah." He asked me where I was from. I told him Australia. He's like, "Yeah, me too." And he's like, "The first thing I did when I got here was get rid of my accent." I'm like, "Why would you do that?" But
I
to
know.
each their own. Like, I wouldn't want to do that, but he thought it was a good idea. So hey, you do
Yeah.
what works best for you. I'm
Yeah,
not here to judge.
I wouldn't want to. And a lot of times if you're at a certain age as a child and you move, like if you live in the South and you was a child and let's say you move up north or somewhere else at 14 or whatever, you'll keep your Southern accent. Now you
Oh, for
may,
sure.
yeah, but my daughter, because we came down here from Ohio, and my daughter sometimes teases her one son, says about what words he says, and I says, Michelle, he came here from when he was a little boy.
Right.
He's got the accent.
Yeah, because I had a customer in Australia. He'd been in Australia like 35, 36 years, but he came from California. I mean, his accent was the strongest one. Like his California accent was the strongest my Australian one is today. So I
Wow.
kind of figured, when I moved over here that that's what would happen. So yeah, I'd be very sad to lose it. But I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about that
Yeah.
too
No, I
much.
know you won't. You won't.
Oh,
You
if I
know,
haven't lost it now, I'm not going to. So
no. That you might go back home and they say, "Man, I can hear your American accent a little
oh,
bit." You know,
they told me I sound like they told me I sound like a Yank all the time.
but you don't.
No, I was
but
like,
but I bet
you
you
feel
that you're there. If you're there for a little bit, that your Australian accent comes out even stronger.
oh, it does. Like
And
even like
back
if my
stronger.
dad or my sister calls, I don't hear it so much now, but like my previous job, like I'd go into work Monday morning and my boss would say, you talk to your family this weekend, right? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? He's like, your accent's so much stronger today. So yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, that's what my husband says because I was raised in Iowa in the Midwest. And
Uh,
he says when I go back there, he can, my Iowa, uh, my, my dialect changes. So,
oh, for sure. Yeah, it's amazing how that happens.
yeah. Let's see.
So Zaza says she has a friend who's been in Australia for 35 years and her whole family still sounds Scottish. Yeah, we had a family like that that we knew reasonably well growing up too. It was the same thing. I think that was Scottish or Irish, one of the two. I can't remember. That was like 40 years ago now.
And
So
they have really strong accents, I think, the Irish or the Scottish. I mean, well, they
yeah,
call it the brogue, you know, but they this yeah.
I understand them both pretty well,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
So the one I struggle with the most is the African accents. Like I really, really struggle with those. I think it's because we didn't really have
Uh,
much exposure to that as a kid.
well, and you're in an area where you have a lot of diversity, where you get a lot of different
Yes.
people, so you're exposed to a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to work with a guy from Nigeria. Wonderful guy, love him dearly. Actually bumped into him last year. Like he recognized me first. I was coming out of the store and he comes up to me and just gives me a big hug. And I'm like, okay, why is this random dude just giving me a hug? And I'm like, you know what? The dude needs a hug. Like, I'll figure out what's going on in a minute.
Aw.
Because I'm usually not a big hugger. And he's like, you don't recognize me, do you? I'm like, no. He told me who he was. I was like, oh, it is so good to see. Because I was just thinking about him like a couple of days previous. And I hadn't seen him in like 15 years. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
I didn't recognize him. And but it was really, really good to bump into him. But I was just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but we will figure it out. And
Yeah, everybody, it's like you don't, it's like a shock when you first see them, if you do recognize them, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, I had no idea who that was at the time. And I was like, yeah, we'll just see where this leads.
Laura was raised in Iowa, and let me see, my little things are coming up. Yeah, I was raised in Owine, Iowa, northeast part of Iowa near Waterloo, Cedar Rapids
Okay.
area. Yep.
Have not made it to
was,
Iowa yet.
and I was not. Oh, don't worry. It's
I'm
pretty
not
much
missing
all
much.
it is corn and beans.
Oh, so it's
But
like Southern Illinois. Okay.
yeah, now the skies are beautiful because they're so blue and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and the people are friendly. I mean, you go down the road, they'll wave hi to you and don't even know you, you know. But yeah, it's a lot of. Now I wasn't raised on a farm; I was in a little town, but
Yeah.
um, it's yeah, it's all mostly farmland. Of course, Quaker Oats Company is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They make the oatmeal in that, you know, and you could smell it. You can smell those oats cooking
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
or roasting.
We finally ran out of bobbins thread. Yes, we did. That's fine. Figured that was going to happen. Been running off the same bobbin for 2 weeks now. It's
Oh,
kind of like the magic pudding. Like it was like the one I didn't know if it was ever going to end.
let's see what's.
And I didn't have any spare bobbins, so I was just like, you know what? We'll just see how far we get before we have to redo it. So
I'm trying to go through my bobbins that I have just to, you know, with the scrappy. If you do not on this one because I'm doing. I don't use my bobbins of different colors because I'm doing it on a white background and it's for a block swap. So, but other scrappy stuff, I do it. I use my
right.
bobbins, get them used up. And with me long arming, I always have extra bobbins from that. And I use the same colors sometimes over again, but some just has a little bit, and I'll unspool it. But if there's a little bit more than a little bit, then I'll load the bobbin on to one for my domestic machine.
Right. Yeah, I tend to have a lot of different colors for mine. Not so much for this machine because these metal bobbins are not cheap. The plastic ones that I had for the brother are, you buy like 10 for $1 or something silly like that. So takes longer to spin this new one. So we'll be back and running in just a minute.
So,
yeah, I quilted a quilt this bobbin and then been piecing for 2 weeks with it. So
well, you did good then. Either you didn't so much, or you really did good on that bobbin.
I know. It was like it never seemed like it wanted to quit. So
well, that's good. It was nice and tight.
Yep. All right, let's put this back in.
I did want to share one thing is you said tomorrow that you and Katie are going to be on at 8, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then on Wednesday, Katie and I are dropping a pre-record for a collaboration that we're doing for with each other on teaching hand quilting.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, I remember she mentioned that she was doing something with you, but I don't remember what it was. So
it's like for beginner.
Yes.
And then they can go and, the big stitch quilting is really in right now, where you use a bigger stitch, and that it's the same process. Just use a thicker thread and bigger needle and bigger stitch. But there's a lot of people have small projects, or you just want to. We felt that, at one point I felt that it was a dying art, but it's really coming back. It really has come back.
Oh, for sure. And I think like having these online communities like here at YouTube, or having like the ability to do Zoom calls with groups or Facebook groups or whatever it is has really helped it out. Because a lot of us, some of us live in rural areas or areas where there's not other quilters and that sort of thing there. And I mean, I'm kind of in that situation. Like, even though I live in a large metropolitan area of over 1 million people, there's not a quilt guild near me that works for me. There's one on the other side of the city. It's 30 minutes away, but they only meet during the week when I'm at work or on a Saturday morning around this time of the day. And I'd rather hang out with you all. So, so yeah, it's nice that we have this sort of community. So that way, we all have a spot to hang out together.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sandy says, when is that collab being dropped? I want to learn hand quilting. So that's Wednesday, correct? Do you know what time?
Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We're doing just an introductory about what we're doing, and then the next month on the 18th of, let me see, this is February. At 18th at 4 o'clock, we'll start the sessions and actually showing, and we're gonna take it. I'll take it slow to show you the stitching and that, so that you don't feel like, okay, I've lost it. They're moving too fast for me,
Yeah, and that's really neat. And that's something that Katie really does hold near and dear to her. She wants to be able to show these sort of projects nice and slow, which I think is really, really neat, because sometimes we tend to try and rush these projects just to get them out so we can move on to the next thing. But I think it's neat that she does that, because the project we're doing, we've said the same thing. We want to do it nice and slow and not rush through it. So that is awesome. Is it over on Katie's channel on Wednesday?
It's on Katie's channel on Wednesday. It's
perfect. Well,
we're going to do a premiere, so that means that we can be in the chat. So if you want to chat and ask questions, we'll be able to chat back with you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the premieres are fun like that. So unfortunately, I won't be able to watch that live because I have this day job that I have to make an attempt, appearance at each day to get my pay every other week. So as disappointed as I would be to miss it, I need my paycheck. And where's my other piece of fabric? Why am I missing that?
So as I said, she
Okay.
loves to hand quilt. Nice. And Sandy's looking forward to it. But Mom J did say that, I don't know, have you heard from Katie? Because she's been sick.
Not today. I talked to her yesterday, and yeah, I told her, I said, look, if you don't feel well enough to do tomorrow, we'll have, we can happily postpone it. Like, it's miserable doing a live sick. Like, you don't want to do it if you're not feeling well. But I think as long as she's able to, she will. But what she said, she'll probably I think she'll probably make a decision this afternoon. She's supposed to be live today at 4:30 or 4 o'clock, whichever one it is. If she's live today, then yeah, definitely on tomorrow. But if for some reason she's not feeling well enough tomorrow, I know she'll definitely post something, and I'll put something on my community page as well. So show up at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, unless we tell you not to. Is what I would suggest for you. So there we go. Okay. Good morning, Miss Linda.
Downloaded, so you guys can. What is Fat Quarter Shop? Is where we downloaded our.
Yes. Yeah. I can go grab the link real quick. Hang on a second.
Because they might. I think it's going to be fun to do.
It is, and it's super scrappy friendly. Yeah, and you'll love it because it's super scrappy friendly and all that good stuff too. So.
And we're doing a paper piece block, so it's
I'm
that one, right?
I'm doing mine traditionally. I'm kind of going rogue on this. It is the pattern itself is paper pieced, and you can buy the papers from the Fat Quarter Shop people. But I'm gonna go rogue and do it traditionally. I think I've figured it out. It may be a hot mess tomorrow. It may be. I may crash and burn. I might have to go online and order the papers. You never know. But
you can use printer paper to print it off. It'll work. It's a little thicker than foundation paper.
Right. Well, we'll figure it out. I think, especially for the first block we're doing, which is what they call the courthouse steps. It's just it's almost like a log cabin. I think I'll be just fine and dandy at that. But as I said, I think it'll be fun to kind of do like she's got the papers that she bought from them. She's got to do it foundation paper piecing style. I thought it'd be fun for me to do it traditionally, just so you kind of see both ways that potentially, if everything goes the way I expect it to, will work. So it'll be a lot of fun to see what happens.
That's good, because a lot of people, you need to learn it both traditionally. That's one of the blocks that you can, and it gives people choices.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, because some people love foundation paper piecing, and that's what they gravitate towards. It's what they're familiar with. Some are more traditional. I know both, but I am definitely more a traditional quilter. So yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, come join us tomorrow morning at 8 over at Katie's channel. We're going to do it once a month. We got to bounce back and forth between the channels. Is the current plan, but we got to start over on Katie's, because I told her, I said, it's your idea, it's just your baby. We'll start over on your channel. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure I get this.
You're doing your angles now, your triangles.
Yes.
So, think on that one.
Oh yeah, because otherwise I'll goof it up and that won't be fun. I really should just print paper patterns out, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch of paper either. So
yeah.
For the most part, it works. Sometimes it's a hot mess, but like I think I may have goofed this one up. No, I did that one right. Maybe I did that one wrong. Oh, well, we'll soon find out in a minute, won't we? Okay, let's see. Where are we at now? Okay, good morning. Did I say good morning to Miss Heather? If I didn't, good morning to you. It's good to see you as well. She said she came in a little late, but that's okay. And yeah, you're always welcome to pop in wherever you want, and you don't have to worry about being late. We are on super early in the morning. And I just appreciate you showing up. You know, whether you're here for 5 minutes or 50 minutes or for the whole show, thank you so much for hanging out. It's always good to see each and every one of you. I think it's amazing that so many of you show up on a Saturday morning each and every week. And yeah, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So yeah, it looks like we have quite a few people from Iowa here, because
I know. Well,
Brenda
we
says
don't.
her mother's family is in Des Moines, and Muscatine missed the days of family road trips from Indianapolis to play at the Cousins. That's awesome. Miss Brenda's one of my good friends out there in Louisville, Kentucky. I got to meet her last summer.
Oh,
So
yeah. There's you're even actors in that. There's a lot of actors that has been from Iowa.
yeah,
So they have to
yeah.
do something.
One of my favorite authors, Bill Bryson's from out there too. He was a Des Moines boy too. So
Ah,
he writes a lot of travel books. I really like his stuff. So there we go. All right. So yeah, apparently the 6-inch woven star paper's been out of stock. Oh, that's disappointing. So, but apparently, Zaza said she bought the 4-inch and will make it bigger. So yeah, the star
okay.
block we're not going to do until next month. We're doing the courthouse step one first. So hopefully it'll be back in stock, and if not, maybe we'll make some changes to account for that if it's a continued issue. I was not aware of that being a problem, but that's good information for us to have, because we figured we'd do the courthouse steps block first because it was easier on both of us. And Katie has said, like, you know, if her not feeling well, it'd be easier on her. And I'm like, well, that's what I thought we were doing anyway, and that's what I told everybody. So I'm glad it worked out there.
I just realized I did buy the papers.
Okay.
You forget, but I bought papers for both the star and the
All
courthouse.
right. Well, then you'll be set. So
I'll be good.
yep.
You forget what you buy at times, you know, or I had them out, but I didn't realize. I don't know if they're not nearby here at all. So
okay, there we go. All right.
we're
I think I'll
just
do
gonna
this,
go have
and then we'll.
breakfast and feed your fur babies.
Yes, the dog out. That's the first thing I do with my doggos. As soon as we come up, they go downstairs straight for their breakfast. So, well, that way they go outside and then they go to sleep while I do my live, and I don't have to worry about them running around like mad fools. So,
yeah. I'm surprised my little dog didn't come in to greet me. Most usually every morning she comes in, but my husband's probably keeping her from coming in.
it's always good to see the doggos come in and hang out during the live. It's fun.
Yeah.
Good morning to RM Fruto. It's good to see you as well. I hope I didn't miss anybody.
I think we're doing pretty good there.
Yeah. If I did, I don't do it deliberately, but just sometimes chat moves a little too quickly for me, or I get distracted by something shiny.
Yeah, when I had said something about, I wasn't thinking straight when I was thinking about the papers for the courthouse steps and all that. I realized that I had bought the packet to do those. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I forgot how they came. Oh, okay. This is Lacey May.
Doggo.
This is
Good
Lacey
morning.
May. She's our multi-poo.
Oh, very nice. She's a pretty dog.
Yeah, she's a good dog. She sits on my sewing table in her bed because it's a pretty big table, so that she can be near me, and she sleeps while I sew. She'll come up to me and want me to pick her up. So she made her debut.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, I think all the dog. Well, yeah, the dogs have all been on the channel at least once or twice. So, does anyone else know who else sells the paper piecing papers? I don't know. It may be theirs. I don't know if there's anyone else that sells it. I'm not sure, but
Is that from Moda or? I mean, I know it's.
Oh, hang on. I've got the pad. I've got the thing up here in front of me. Hang on a second. Oh, I did. Did I get rid of it?
I'm gonna go see if I have it here. Okay.
We'll soon find it. Hang on a second. We'll see what comes up. Oh, there we go. All right.
Oh, these are some of them. This is the 4 inches, 4.5, 4.5. It says it's so Emma.com.
Oh, okay. Yes. If you go over to her website, you might be able to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that.
This is
called Woven Star.
Yeah, if you're doing the bigger one, you're these are tiny for the little ones.
Okay, so it looks like they're selling it on Etsy.
Oh, okay.
So that's an option for you. It looks like they are selling it on It's So Emma as well. Is this the 6-inch? Okay, let me throw this link in here real quick. So that way, yeah, so just look around, do a Google search. If you need, if the Fat Quarter shop is out of stock, you can just do a Google search. It looks like Laura says her local quilt shop sells them, so that's also another option. But the star pattern we're not going to do until the first week of March. So it gives you a little bit of time to get it, find them somewhere down, purchase them and that sort of thing there, and that sort of thing there as well. So there we go. So yeah, that's cool that there are other options there for you. So thank you all so much for asking those questions, because I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know there was an out of stock issue, and secondly, I didn't know they sold them elsewhere. So good questions for us all to know. It'd be good for us to talk about tomorrow during the live if anyone asked about that again. So with that, I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the live. So let's see, what have we got going on? We'll have Donnell at 10 o'clock. So you can go get a cup of coffee, make yourself a bagel, some Vegemite on toast if that's your sort of thing. And then at 11, you can go hang out with my mate Russ. 11, he's up with Russ. And then I think later on in the day, we'll have Miss Laura Lynn at Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. Yeah. And then hopefully Katie will be well enough to do her live at 4. I'm putting everybody's link in. And then, come back and see us tomorrow morning over at Katie's channel to do
the courthouse steps.
Yeah, do that. Thank you. Yeah. And so my plan with this pattern is, if you look at the pattern itself, it gives you the cutting instructions, and that you just put it together in the order it tells you. And I'm hoping that's how it's going to work. We're going to find out tomorrow morning if it works or not. That's
what size are you making yours, Sean?
I'm going to do the 6. I'm going to do the 6-inch blocks, and I think I haven't decided for sure yet, but I think I'm just going to make like a wall hanging. I might do like 24 by 24, maybe 36 by 36. Yeah, I don't want to make. I'm not planning on making the full quilts, because I have too many full size quilts as it is, and I like working on the smaller stuff. It works better for me. So, but that's kind of what I'm planning on doing, and we'll go from there. Maybe I'll make a baby blanket out of it. I don't know. We'll make a few blocks tomorrow and see where we go from there. I'm just going to kind of wing it and see how we go from there. That's so right. That is that. So we'll have our live with Katie over on Katie's channel tomorrow morning. I'll have my podcast out as usual tomorrow, and then hopefully I'll get some other content out during the week. I just have not done a whole lot of pre-records lately. I've been kind of slack, but yeah, stuff happens. So let's see. Zaza says it's a free pattern, so a lot of people buying the papers, so that makes a lot of sense there as well. Yeah. So Donnell says she has to go get ready for her lives. Thank you for hanging out with us. Chloe says she loves wall hangings. Me too. It's just fun because I like the smaller stuff, so you can kind of finish it and send it on its merry way as well. So there you go. All right. So, do you have anything else coming up that you'd like to tell everybody about before we say goodbye to everyone?
Well, I am in the process of editing one of my videos. It's going to be, if I get it edited today, I'll post it. It's showing you how I long armed one of my that heart table runner. So that's
Nice.
all. Just doing all, just probably I'll sew a little bit today and watch YouTube.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think we'll take the girls out for an adventure in a little while. I got to go pick up my old machine shortly. So yeah, I'll be busy as always. But thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in. It's been great interacting with everybody in the chat. And if you are watching a replay, I'd love it if you just say hi and tell us where you're watching from. It's always good to see who's watching. So with that, we got to say goodbye. I hope you all had a great day. Go check out Donnell and Russ and everybody else that's live later on today. Come back tomorrow morning over at Katie's channel to watch us make the courthouse steps. It's going to be a lot of fun starting this new pattern. And we'll see you all in the next video. I hope you all have a great day. Happy sewing. We'll see you soon. Bye.